Hey, this is Passy from Passy's World of ICT, the guy with the white hat. And we've got a video here about zip folders, how to unzip, extract them, and also how to make them. Because for some of our VBNet Games projects, you will need to have zip files and be able to work with them. Okay, so the learning objectives. Now, just remember, I'm a slow talker, so change the video speed with that tools cog on the player bar. Just click on that and it'll have play speed, and you click the arrow, and we suggest using 1.5 or 1.75, and the video will flow a lot better. Now, the second thing is we have not made any VBNet videos for a while, and the reason is because we're really busy making the Dog Club Access course on our webpage and YouTube at the moment. So once that is finished, so we're talking about July, sometime in July, yeah, we'll get right back into VBNet Games projects again, all right? So just stay tuned for that. But in this particular lesson on zip files and folders, what we're going to learn is what zip files are and why we have them, what a download zip file looks like, how to extract and download zip files and folders if someone sends you a zip folder. Oh, excuse me, that is not a virus. It's just me. How to extract and download zip folders and files, because someone might send you one by email, or you might have a project like our memes games project. Okay, the Pick a Meme project. In that one, we give you all the pictures, because there's like about 50 of them in this zip folder, which you need to download from Dropbox with the downloads, and then you'll need to know how to unzip it. How to create a OneDrive link to send by email for large zip files. So we found during lockdown isolation that we're able to use this with our students, that they could make a zip file and then they could email a link to me so I could get to OneDrive and I could take a look at it. All right, so how to create a zip file for a VBNet project, because well, first we'll look at it as just a normal zip file using OneDrive, then we'll look at the VBNet project, because there's a couple of problems when you try and zip up a VBNet project and send it to someone or share the OneDrive link. So we'll talk about all of that and show you what you need to fix. And this lesson has got a free download of step-by-step instructions. So this one's a freebie, so get into it. So see the video, the link in the video description, and that'll have a link you can click and you can get the downloaded instructions for this lesson and give them to all of your students and use them yourself as well. Okay, now what are zip folders and files? It's a compressed file, which is not in usable format. So when you get a zip file off someone, you cannot use it straight away, but it's very easy to extract it and expand it all out again, to unzip it or uncompress it or decompress it, and then you can use it, okay? So zip files will usually happen when someone sends you one by email, because the original file was too big to put in an email, or it could be downloaded from cloud storage such as Dropbox or from a OneDrive link. Okay, so large files are particularly images and sound files. Often they've got to be put into zip format, and often when you download one of them from a site, so if you're looking for sound effects for a VBNet game and you download it from a website, it's going to be a zip folder like this, and you can tell because they've got this zipper symbol on the folder when you look at them in Windows Explorer, and they also end in .zip, okay? So these were some what were these? I think these were some sound files we downloaded from a site because we're going to use those in a video project for a photo thing we were doing. All right, so they all came as zips, the WAV files, the sound files of the music, and then we need to know how do we get those things unzipped and open them up so we can actually use them, okay? So we need to unzip or extract these folders so that we can use their contents. So unloading zip folders and files. So some of the Passy's World of ICT lessons, such as the meme project one, there's a couple of links here which I think are on the Passie's World of ICT website. These are free downloads, these ones. And the idea is that when you click one of those, or if you copy and paste the link, so we're just going to take this link here, copy and paste it into Google Chrome. So it's best to do this in Google Chrome, we found. And what happens is it'll download it, and you'll see it downloading here in the corner on Google Chrome with a kind of a blue circle progress bar. And it downloads as a zip file. So what will happen is that you will get a zip file sitting in your PC's downloads folder. So if you go into File Explorer, go to downloads, you'll find out that yes, there is a zip file now of the top 5 memes in there. All right, so what we need to do with that is you need to right mouse click on that zip folder there, and then choose Extract All. So when you right click on it, all these options will come up. And the one you need to get is Extract All, and make sure you click on that one. When you click on that one, it gives you an option that you can browse to where you'd like to extract it to, but we don't usually bother with that. What we do is we just leave that as it is, so it'll extract into the downloads file, and just click the Extract button here at the bottom. What happens next is that a progress bar will display, and then the extracted files will appear. All right, so this is a whole folder of some different meme pictures. So they were zipped up when you get them off Dropbox. You'll see this progress bar as they download the zip file to your particular machine. And what will happen is that, as it extracts it from the zip file on your particular machine, what will happen is in your downloads folder, you'll now have a regular folder called Top 5 Meme Pick. And when you go into it, you've got the meme pics plus a smiley face as well, just to make it a bit more fun. Now, if we go up one level, so we're down in that folder, which was extracted. So Windows kind of does this extracting, and you see a progress bar, then it just automatically opens up the extracted folder and stuff. If you go back up to your downloads folder, to this folder here, downloads, what you'll see is there's the zip file you originally got from Google Chrome using that link to the Dropbox, and here is the one which Windows did an extract all and unzipped and expanded, so now you've got all the images and they're ready to go. So what we usually do is we then take this folder here after we've checked it and just do a Control-C and Control-V to paste it off to the other folder where we're going to be working on our project, and we need those images. All right, so that's the whole story on getting a zip folder from someone and how you do the extract all to make it into usable materials, which you can then copy somewhere else on your machine and use them. Now, what if you want to do the opposite? What if you want to make a zip folder or file because you've got a lot of things to store? So creating the zip file, if you've got a whole bunch of images or some sound files, some Microsoft Access, database files, Office files, any sort of thing like that. It can be just files, or it can be a folder of the files. You just single click the file or folder to make sure it's selected, and then you go to the Share tab and you click the zip icon. So when you're in File Explorer, usually it's on this File tab here, or Home tab, and what you need to do, we want this Green Fever WAV file, this song, we want to just zip that up into a zip file. So we clicked on that once just to get it highlighted in blue here, and then we go up to the Share tab, and then we click on the zip icon because we're going to zip that folder up. All right, and Windows then makes a zip folder of that thing. So you can see here down the very bottom right hand corner, we've got Green Fever WAV.zip. So that was our original WAV file, and now we've got a zip file sitting next to it in our folder as well on our computer, and that's the one which we can check out. Now, WAV sound files, unfortunately, they don't compress much when you zip them up. Images are good, and folders of images are good, but sound files, WAV files aren't so good. So it's still way too big to email. It's a 25 megabyte file, okay, 25 meg. So that's too big because I think a lot of email systems only let you do 4 meg or 6 meg. So 25 meg is going to be too big. All right, so what we're going to do is we just take that zip folder, we copy it to our OneDrive folder. All right, so if you've got OneDrive, or if you've got Dropbox, you can see we've got Dropboxes there as well. If you've got cloud storage, you just copy that zip file to your cloud storage. Okay, and then once it's in your cloud storage, what you can do is you can right click on it and you can go share. All right, so you've put it up into the cloud where theoretically anyone can get it. But what you need to do is you need to do this share option so you can get a link to send them so that they'll be able to link to that file up in the cloud, up in the internet. So we right click on that zip file once we've got it copied into our cloud area in OneDrive in this case, right click on it and go share. Now, the next step is if you're in a business or educational institution that's got OneDrive all connected up for all of the students and teachers, like like my place of part-time work, what will happen is that the following sequence of steps can be followed. All right, if you just have OneDrive because you've got an Office 365 account, I don't think it gives you all of these options. I think it just gives you an email option and you can email a link to the file to someone, but that'll be good enough. But anyway, in an educational institution, which a lot of you might be in, or a business institution that's got a group kind of OneDrive for sharing, on the OneDrive, there'll be a little figure here. All right, so where you can share things. So if you right click on the OneDrive, you can do a cloud share. All right, so we want to send a link. So we're on OneDrive and you right click on the OneDrive and get to share, and then this panel will open up and you want to copy the link, okay? And the link we want to copy to is that green fever one. All right, so what we've done here, it's hard to see because of the overlays. Now I'm understanding what was done. All right, so we went into our OneDrive and hidden behind this panel is actually the greenfever.zip file. So we right clicked on the actual zip file in our OneDrive. So that's kind of behind here, hiding behind here, the actual zip file of the song. Right click on that and go that we want to do cloud sharing. And then up here, people in your organization will be able to link to it. So I want to copy the link for this file. All right, so you click on that and then you get a link produced by OneDrive and then you can copy that link. So you click on here to copy the link. All right, now that we've got the link copied, you can just Control V, paste that OneDrive link into an email. So here I'm just going to send someone the WAV zip file and they're going to get a link. So when they get the email, as long as it's someone within your business or educational organization hooked up to that local corporate OneDrive, what will happen is that you'll get an option to download the file. All right, so it says, okay, here's Green Fever, and we want to download it. So the other person gets the email, clicks on this link, this panel pops up, and they just click the download icon up the top here. And that's it. They will be able to get a download of your big WAV file because you put it in the cloud, up in the cloud. If someone in your organization's got the link, they can get that from the cloud and download it onto their machine, so they've got it as well. So that's the whole idea of cloud sharing. Now, VBNet projects are a little bit more difficult. So sometimes we've got a VBNet project, and this happened during isolation when we're doing remote learning and none of us were actually at school. In 2020, this happened and I needed students to send me their VBNet project because I couldn't understand from the email. It was too hard to explain what wasn't working. So it was better if I got a copy of their project and could have a look at it at home. So we needed to make a zip file with a link that they could email to me, all right? So if you've got a VBNet project and you need to email it to your teacher so your teacher can have a look at it to try and figure out what's gone wrong and how to help you, this is what you do. So, for example, remember with VBNet projects, you have a main folder. So this is the main folder for our jumping button program, but down inside that folder, there's lots of other folders and files which make up the VBNet project. So if you double click on that once, you'll get down to this level and it has this set of folders here, and it's got the solution file, the SLN. That's the one you double click, which should trigger opening up Visual Studio so you can look at the project and run it. All right, so that's what's in there. Now, if you double click on these folders here, what happens is there's a whole bunch more folders and files, okay? So we get all of these, and you can double click on each of these folders and go down even further. So a VBNet project's really huge with heaps of files and folders. You can't just kind of grab all those files and folders and put them all into an email as attachments and send it to someone, okay? It just doesn't work that way, and it won't work. So what we need to do is with this main folder, we need to make a zip version of this main top level folder, and then that one we can share with other people. All right, so we can make that main folder into a single zip file and then email that to another person. Person should be able to download and extract it, and then they should be able to run and look at the VBNet project. Okay, so if you try this out, you go to where that big main folder is. Remember, we want to make a zip file, so we go to our Share tab up here, and then we go to the zip icon, and Windows should make a zip version of it, which looks like this, the same sort of folder but with a zipper on it, which probably be sitting right next to this one here. And then we've got our zip folder. So we try and email that zip file, so we just take that and we're emailing it to someone. We've done it as an attachment, and you can see it zips it up to like 530 kilobytes. So that's good, because remember, you've got up to 4 meg you can send by email. So this is good. We don't have to do any cloud sharing. It's not too big to email. So we can just email that zip file to someone else, and they should be able to extract it all, and they'll have a copy of the project. That's the theory, and that's what should work and would normally work with everything, but it's not going to work with VBNet, because in that project, there's some .exe executable files buried in some of those folders. And what happens is the virus scanner detects all executables. They're going to run on the machine, and could run a virus or something and do it a lot of damage. So it's going to block it. So what happens at the other end is that your email system will probably block it. It'll say unsupported file types alert, and it won't let you have a zip file that you can click on or do anything with. It'll just nullify that zip file. And what can also happen is your virus checker will also scan any incoming emails, and it'll tell you that it's quarantined a threat. Okay, so it needed to get rid of a virus, so it's taken that zip file away because it found that there was some .exe files in it. All right, so big problem. Doesn't look like we can zip up a VBNet project and email it to someone. All right. We need to go back to the VB project folders and fix this problem. We've got to find those exe files and delete them out, and then we should be able to make a zip folder of the whole project and send it, because it won't have exe files in it anymore, so the virus checker will not complain, and it'll all be good. So anyway, delete that old zip file we made, because that's no good. And we're going to be making a new zip file which doesn't contain the exe files, and that should get through email okay without any issues. All right, so we need to find and delete those exe files causing the problem. So if we drill down in our files, like we go to our main file here, double click it, go into this set of our folders. In the bin folder, if you double click that, there's a folder called debug. Release, just double click that, that should be empty. And double click debug, and there's going to be these 4 files in there. And what we need to do is we just need to delete all 4 of those files. Okay, so in the debug folder, just click on those and press the delete key on your keyboard to delete them. Now don't worry, because the person who gets the zip folder at the other end of your project, the first time they run it in Visual Studio will remake all these files that we're going to be deleting anyway. So it's no problem getting rid of these. It's not going to break your project or anything like that. So anyway, down into the bin, into the debug, get rid of those 4. That's the first step, but there's still some more work to do. And that's when you double click here and double click here. We're not going to bin this time. This OBJ folder of objects that were generated when you run the program, that's got executables in it as well. So just delete that whole folder. Click on that folder and press delete on your keyboard to take that away. Okay, so now we should be right and have something we can send that doesn't have any executables, that will trigger virus scans and block or nullify the zip file we've sent through, okay? And remember, when the person gets it and unzips it, extracts it, takes it into Visual Studio, they can just click the green arrow to run the program once, and they'll get all of those files back again, and the OBJ folder, and that'll all be good. So remember that old zip folder which didn't work, make sure you've deleted that. And we need to go to this new one where we've cleaned it up and got rid of the OBJ file and the 4 files out of the bin debug. And now we can share and zip that one up and make a zip file. And when we attach that zip file to an email and we send it through, there should be no problems for the receiver downloading it. So what should happen is that new zip file with the debug files and the OBJ folder removed, that gets through okay. It doesn't nullify it and turn it into a text docs. Here we are, we've got the .zip file, and also it's only 264 kilobytes, so it's nearly halved in size as well when we've sent it this way too, so that's excellent. So the zip file can be downloaded, so the person who gets that email can click here and download it onto their computer. Then they can right click and do an extract all to get it extracted out to a folder. And then when they've got that, so there's the zip that they got, and then they did the right click and extracting, and they've got this one. They can double click on this one, and that SLN file, they can just double click on that, and that should launch up Visual Studio and open up the whole project. And then hidden away up here, you can't see it, but there's a green arrow button, the green triangle, where you could run that program and see how it goes. And so this is what we used. This is how students can send me their VBNet projects by email. They just need to know to remove those files first, plus the OBJ folder, zip it up, and then they can send it to me and I can extract it out at my end and I can have a look at their project and see what's happening there. All right, so have fun working with zip files. This should show you everything you need to do with them, and get the free PDF step-by-step instructions. Get that from the description link for this video because that'll really be handy just to have that PDF on your machine. So anytime you're dealing with zip files, or you want to make a zip file, or you need to email your VBNet project to your teacher, anything like that at all, you'll have that document to look at. So give this video a big thumbs up like, because it should be really useful. And remember, starting July, probably by mid-July, we should have that Dog Club Access course finished and be back working on VBNet games projects again. So subscribe to our channel so that you will see those projects when we start making them again. And we'll see you in the next lesson.